cover today.
We're going to run out of shit to talk about on the way to California.
We're definitely not going to run out of shit to talk about on this episode of Shiftless, the podcast that's only about bicycles back at Casa Verde. Perfect morning weather.
Amazing weather. Amazing.
Overcast, which is nice. Temperature's perfect. Just a slight breeze that reminds me of a gentle split unit mini split air conditioner in a nice Airbnb. We have a fantastic guest with us.
We're getting
today.
ejaculated on by all the trees.
Yes, tree semen all over us, all in our face and stuff. But Bradford, would you please be so kind as to introduce today's guest?
The one, the only DJ Caleb.
Hey, over here. Over here. Hey, I'm talking over here. Thank you.
God,
It doesn't even recognize me anymore. You don't even know who your uncle is.
it's Compton attitude. It's like, hey,
And they say these things are going to take over.
it liked Austin very much last week.
Hey, speaking of AI, have you watched Mercy with Chris Pratt?
I started to, and it just started getting so silly, I went away from
It's
it.
worth a watch.
All right,
See it through to the end. It's
I'll go back. Okay, so here's what it started reminding me of that Ice Cube War of the Worlds movie. Did you see that one
I
last
don't
year?
know that I saw that.
It was like
Didn't that get voted the worst?
Yeah,
movie of the year?
yeah, it was
Major release.
It was a joke movie. So basically, it was shot during COVID when nobody was able to meet for even to put on movie productions. So basically, everybody shot their part at home with green screens and stuff like that, and they cobbled it together in this horrendous edit. But what I was seeing of Mercy was along the same lines, where it was Chris Pratt just sitting in a chair and they're videoing his stuff, and then they've got all these other actors scattered all over the set doing their own thing. Maybe it changed halfway through or something like that, but I was really getting,
I thought it was really good.
I was thrown off by the action sequences, for lack of a better term, but I only made it maybe a quarter into the movie.
I thought it was very good.
Now, maybe I'll do a buddy drink and watch it. I may enjoy it more.
Okay.
We can.
Just wanted to get that out of the way before I forgot.
Understood. Brad gives seal of approval to Mercy. How about you, Caleb? Have you seen any fantastic movies lately?
Movies. Project Hail Mary was good.
Oh, don't.
Have you guys already talked about it?
No spoilers, please.
I won't spoil it. Have you read the book?
I have listened to the book multiple times.
Okay, yeah, because Ray Porter could read a phone book and be entertaining. I gave it a solid 2 thumbs up, especially if you're the kind that reads the books that hopes the movie follows the book.
Yeah.
With this, it had to leave out a little bit of detail that
Sure,
I thought would have been important because of time
It
constraints.
was so dense.
But I thought it did really well. It was very entertaining and
it's Ryan Gosling.
yeah, he's so cute.
He's gorgeous.
It's interesting that you guys bring that movie up because yesterday on my ride, I inadvertently listened to a podcast from the guy that does Smarter Every Day. Him and another guy do a podcast. I didn't even know it, just auto-populated on my earbuds. And they were discussing the book, Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I've seen the movie now. I didn't.
Yeah,
I haven't read the book, nor did I even know the movie was out.
if you're an audiobook guy, I suggest just looking up anything that Ray Porter has
narrated.
because I think I don't know this for a fact. I haven't looked this up, but I would suspect that he is a talent that would elevate someone's audiobook sales simply because of how talented he is. Because I've listened to a couple of books that the story was okay. It was okay, but his performance in it, he's made it better.
He's one of those that takes on each of the characters, male, female, Russian, American, whatever. And it's just totally immersive.
He's like the David Attenborough of
probably
audiobooks.
Yeah, maybe.
So that one was good. I saw one, and sorry, I can't remember the name of it. It was a surprise one that I didn't know anything about, but it ended up being pretty interesting. It was Keanu Reeves, Seth Rogen, and
Aziz Ansari. I know what you're talking about, but
I can't remember the name of it. It was on Stars, but it's a neat premise. Basically, Seth Rogen's this multi-billionaire tech guru company founder guy. And Aziz Ansari is a guy that's just trying to get by on a gig hustle lifestyle. And he ends up working for Seth as his assistant, and shit goes down the tubes for him. And Keanu Reeves is Aziz's guardian angel and screws up as a guardian angel and has Seth Rogen and Aziz switch lives. and they know they switch lives, but nobody else does.
I do love me some Canoe Reeves.
And I'm not against Seth Rogen much myself when he's not being just Seth Rogen.
Wait, that's not Seth Rogen. That's Jonah Hill.
No, it's Seth Rogen.
It's Seth Rogen?
It's Seth Rogen.
It was probably written by Jonah Hill, though.
I thought that was okay. I didn't see it. I just saw the trailer. So
Understand. It's interesting.
Are we going to review movies all day? Or
No,
bike stuff?
we got so much shit to talk about. We got to get movies out of the way. Guess what? We're going to talk about food too, but not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. So
I do love food.
let's talk bikes. And since we have Caleb here,
hi, here.
and who are you?
I'm the wobbly third wheel. It's held on by one or two lug nuts.
All right.
Just going down the road, just one.
Balin wire.
Yeah, we were hoping to have you on a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
When Mid-South was fresh on your mind. But I'm guessing you still remember riding Mid-South recently.
I recall it. Yeah.
I want to hear your take on this year's Mid-South, what the Mid-South has become, what's going on in that huge mega national event scene these days, and how it went for you.
Yeah.
And does Bobby still give good hugs?
He did. He squeezed
He
me.
gets a great hug, right?
He squeezed the energy bars out of me. I went, myself and my coworker and Nick Legan from Shimano, we signed up to do, they don't have that's all from Lucy. I pulled all that out of her for a tornado. We signed up to do the single speed 100-mile together. They don't have a team format or a group, but we just decided let's do that and ride it and finish it together. I did Mid-South in 22 or 3. I can't remember. It was the first year that they started having really good weather. And at that time I think that's still my fastest 100-mile course I've ever done. I did that on Geared on a Warbird, and it was just fun. It's a fun course. It is a lot of climbing. I think this year's right at 7,000, maybe a little over, but this Saturday felt like more climbing than Mid-South because
it was all stacked at the end.
That and the Mid-South there are so many rollers.
Yeah.
You're halfway up the climb before you have to start
climbing.
Pedaling.
Right,
so
right.
really, you're not technically climbing 7,000 feet. You're probably riding 3,000-4,000 of it or something maybe.
So you forwarded your AI discussion chat, whatever, about how you should prep your bike for Chisholm versus Mid-South.
Yeah.
Was the AI correct in the way it broke it down?
Yes and no. It was correct in that would have been a really comfortable gear, but what it did tell me, you know what it did? It told me based on my performance at Mid-South, it told me that Chisholm Trail was going to be essentially much easier. And that was not the case because of the, 2,000 feet of climbing at the end. It did predict that. It said you're going to feel it. Because I even looked at the profiles between Mid-South and Chisholm, and they're night and day.
Right.
They're not the same. And I thought maybe I should think about putting a 16 on it because there's a lot more flat cruising mileage on the Chisholm Trail, which there's not a lot of flat cruising mileage on the Mid-South. And it still came back and said, because of the tail end of that route, it might not be a good idea. Your knees are going to be cooked by then. And it was right. Those last couple 20 miles were not brutal, but they were definitely crispy.
Yeah.
But so let's talk about that real quick because you asked me 2 different questions, Mid-South and AI. I did. I uploaded I didn't know. I'm still new to gravel single speed. I've been on a single speed mountain bike for years, and I have a good understanding of gearing for different trails and stuff. But long distances, I'm still kind of like figuring things out. And so I uploaded the GPX for both Mid-South and a Chisholm Gravel, and then I also uploaded my fit file from Strava or from Garmin or whatever that had all my data. And basically asked Claude to compare these 2 routes, compare my gearing, compare the mileage versus climbing and all these different things, and tell me what I should do. What you didn't see, because I don't know if you're a Claude subscriber, is and I should have sent screenshots to you. It has a bunch of graphs and charts and stuff that it designed and built in that were like visual representations of what was in
Visualizing the data.
So I would say that it was relatively correct. I think what I'm going to keep doing and I'll let you guys know how this does. I'm going to keep uploading post-ride data to Claude, and I want it to start archiving and librarying. Librarying, is that a word?
It is now.
I want to start collecting my post-ride data and start building forecasting Look, that's what Whoop does.
Yeah.
But Whoop doesn't do it specifically to cycling. It just does it to your overall
Fitness.
It'll know you went on a cycling, or it knows whether you're running, or it knows whether you're lifting weights or swimming or whatever. But it's not pinpoint specific.
So going into Mid-South, did you ask Claude?
No,
Okay,
no.
so you raw dog Mid-South.
I did interact with it about. I was a little. I don't know if the word intimidated was right. I was a little unsure about my gearing because both Nick and Jason, especially Jason, I think Jason was on like a 42-18. He was a very tall gear. And I think Nick was on a 40-18. So I was the
And what were you?
38-18.
38-18.
So I was on the softest gear of the three. Well, it turns out I had a better day than they did.
Okay.
So anyway, I did interact with it
When
for that.
When I was at my
figure it out.
strongest single speed gravel, 42-18 was my preferred gear.
Okay.
But you can't start it. You got to work your way up to that.
So what I'm going to start doing, and I even was, again, everything's going back to the thing that's probably going to take my job, and I'm perpetuating it. But like it did say, go put a 16 on it and
Just
go
be
start.
really nice to it.
Yeah, be very friendly. Don't give it any of your secrets, and don't give it access to your personal data. That's no pun intended.
But so you're going to start using basically Claude as a coach and a consultant of sorts?
So I've already
A sounding board.
I've already built an app. Getting access to Whoop's API was you just sign up for Whoop's development program, non-issue. Strava, non-issue. Garmin, I had to apply 3 times to try to get access to my personal data because they have an application process, and I got denied all 3 times. And each time I did it, I kept reiterating, I'm not selling data. Because that's one of the things that Garmin is super protective about. And that's what that whole lawsuit was, right?
Yeah.
So it came down to guys like me that just want to access my own data,
Yeah.
but they don't want me to have my own data to do my own analytics because they want to be the ones. They're trying to compete with Strava
Yeah.
heavily. They're going after that same audience.
yeah.
So anyway,
But their user interface is so much just clunkier.
it's terrible.
Yeah.
All their apps are terrible.
You have to figure they're on the verge of finally addressing that, but we've been saying that for 20 years now.
It just depends on what companies' priorities are.
If Strava came out with a head unit, I think that Garmin would be in deep,
They're
deep
cycling.
water.
They're cycling.
I disagree.
The cycling sales would drop a little bit, but remember, cycling is not their bread and butter.
Oh yeah, yeah. I always forget all their boat navigation,
Aviation boat is their
yeah.
Yeah, each
Maritime and
each
aviation.
plane is $50,000 worth of shit.
at minimum.
I'm talking just a personal aircraft.
Yeah.
I think their real money maker though is their data set, all their mapping and navigation and everything.
I don't think they own the satellites. I could be wrong, but I think they're purchasing the data from satellites. Anyway, I built this app. It's not functioning yet. Like I'm still working on getting it going. The design's done and the front end coding is done and the APIs and all that stuff are connected. So really what it'll do is, my goal is, because you do a ride and you look on Strava, you do a ride, you look on Whoop, you do a ride, you look on Garmin. I'm just trying to collect it all into one place and build some kind of prediction model around it. Someone's going to take this and probably fucking patent it or whatever, but I'm telling you right now, I'm not doing anything that other people aren't already doing. Like I know several people that are already doing the same thing. It was more of I'm trying to educate myself more on, as a designer, merging that gap between a designer and a developer. And it certainly bridges that gap very quickly. So it's a side gig.
Okay.
But going back to Mid-South, yeah, I think it's a great event. It's a fun event. It's of all the big events I've done, it's the least pressure on performance wise because it's really centered around going out and just having a good time. So much so now that I'm sure you saw this. The pros are on Friday.
Yeah.
So now on Saturday, it is a race on Saturday.
Who'd have thunk it? The pro race is on a different day.
No.
What an original concept.
Yeah.
We tried that, but it didn't work for us.
So how was the weather? Because
I'll go back to the weather. The really cool thing about doing it on Friday is that now us slow folk can go and watch the start, hang out, go eat, take a nap, and come back and watch the finish. I've never been able to do that. I've never watched a pro finish.
And meander booths and stuff like that.
Yeah. And so I think that is the way to do it. And then on Saturday, you pretty much, I think there was only 40 or 50 pros on between the men's and women's group, and it wasn't very big. And then on Saturday,
Friday?
On Saturday, there's still the racy boys and girls that want to podium.
That were the traditional fast people in the older days of gravel before it went super pro.
The non-pros. But then that means the vast majority of everyone out there is either competing against themselves, going out and having a good time, or want to be competitive. And I think that's more, I don't want to get in the whole spirit of gravel thing. That's a played out and tired conversation for me, but I think it does a really good job. Weather-wise, it was incredibly windy the day before. 3 days before, it was incredibly windy the day after. We had, I think it was a steady 5 mile an hour wind until about 3 o'clock, and the wind started picking up.
Yeah.
So it was a Disney day, to be honest. Yeah.
So did all three of y'all finish together?
We did. Yeah, we rode across the finish line. The funny thing is we all three rode across the finish line together, but Jason finished 1 second ahead of us, even though we all rode together. So he actually got a 1 second time. But we, all in all, like we finished, when I rolled across 19th total in single speeds out of, I don't know, 50, 60 or something like that. It was unexpected.
You beat Frazier.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. I'm just.
Hey, I went back and looked at the guy that the first, second, and I think third single speed top three finishers. Like the first place was like 17.6, 17.8
average,
and then the second place was right at 17. Yeah.
And what would your average end up at?
I think it was just above 14.
You did pull to 14.
Yeah.
17 and a half is gonna. That's
Smoking.
That's probably 42.16.
Yeah, especially with that elevation, that's on a single speed, that's moving.
And the thing is, and also, he's able to pedal faster downhill.
Now, I say that
flats, which
he
that's
has
what
to
makes the
be able to
difference.
pedal downhill.
Yes, because I'm not on my ability, but more on the difference in the gearing. I'm probably climbing those hills as fast as he is.
Do you know who that was by chance?
No, I wouldn't go back and look. But the difference is, though, is that he's cruising hella faster than we are.
I'm just curious what do you know what bike he was on?
Never. All I saw was his finisher's card.
Understood.
On the website.
Hey, if you know off the top of your head and you're listening to this or watching this, send shiftlesslive@gmail.com.
Oh, I can look it up.
Okay. You do know how to work a computer.
They have the finishers on the website.
So what? There were almost 4,000 people signed up this year. Any idea how many were actually out there on the main event day? Do they break it down that way?
Yeah, you could look on they're not using Runner Sign Up or whatever. They have some other brand I've never seen, a platform, and you can see all the finishing data and those that started and those that didn't finish, regardless of. You can break it down into groups.
You can see how many actually.
Yeah, they got the
showed up
numbers
and
on
finished.
There. Yeah, it's a great event. But anytime, the first time I did it and this time I did it, I have absolutely no problem showing up. And if it starts raining that night or that morning, I'm not going to run a bike over it.
Understood.
And I'm not going to attempt to do it when it's. I've been lucky, and both times I've done it, the weather's been fantastic and the course has been fantastic.
And you say the same on single speed? You would hang it up single speed too?
It depends on how muddy it is. I did the whole Unbound year with the mud, and it's just like you do it, you get through it, you don't complain about it, you ride your ride, but it's not something I would choose to do. It's not fun. I don't know. It's a long day with a lot of mud.
Understood. So what, you said 50, 60 finishers in single speed?
I think so, yeah. Something around there.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I saw quite a bit
Oh, Matt Stevens got first
in the men's.
in the men's.
Yep. Matt had a great day.
Did you see all the drama around the side by side?
I did.
So why don't you give us an overview for the people that may not be familiar with it?
So they had
Pro Day.
They had live coverage on Pro Day with side by sides that had Starlink mounts, and they were streaming it live. It was the first time that they did it. There was a lot of hiccups, and a lot of people gave them unnecessary shade because of it. But look, it's their first time doing it, and they're trying.
Is it unnecessary shade?
Hold on, I'm not talking about the drama.
Okay,
I'm talking about the overall broadcast. I know what you're getting at. And I'm gonna
okay. I didn't see the broadcast.
My strong opinion is probably equal to your strong opinion.
Okay.
But from the live broadcast, I thought that they made a valiant attempt, and I applaud them. And I met the guy that was going to cover the men's race, elite men's, and the woman that was going to cover the women's elite race, and they're both super cool, nice people. And
so what was this? Was there a side-by-side for each race?
Yes. So
And
there
it
was
just kind of
multiple, from what I understand, there were multiple side-by-sides, and I think maybe like a forerunner with a camera in the back of it. So they had multiple cameras per group.
Okay.
Right?
And
then,
how was this broadcast on YouTube?
It's broadcast on YouTube, as well as in downtown Stillwater. They took a big, maybe multiple blocks, I don't know, maybe 2 blocks of land and made it a giant park with a pavilion on one end and a stage on the other end, and they had a big screen.
Had a big
And
screen.
so they were showing it there.
Okay.
I watched most of it from my hotel room, and then we had all gone back to take a nap and hang and just chill out in our rooms. I was watching it on my laptop, and I just kept noticing the amount of dust that those guys. I did not. I'm sure the women had the same issue. I just didn't see that when I was watching. When I saw this
Right.
particular thing, it was the men, and the amount of dust was just. It's incredible.
It was getting stirred up by the side by side.
Yeah, the side by side is 10 yards in front of them.
Yeah.
And it's just, you can't see the sides of the roads. It's just a cloud of dust.
To be fair, it was unusually dry up there this time around, right?
Yeah, it was. But I'm thinking if I'm a pro racer and my livelihood is based on this, I don't want to have to breathe that shit in for 4.5,
Right.
5 hours.
There's
and
a
I want to
reason
be
I'm
able,
on the front.
and there's a reason I want to be able to see what's in front of me.
Yes.
I mean, there were times where it looks like they were in remember that dust storm on the Tour of Dubai or whatever that Dubai race was a couple years ago? It looked like that. And so anyway, we got back down to the race area, and I was talking to the guys. I was like, did you see all the dust? And they were like, yeah, but some of the pro racers' opinion is that side-by-side creates a little bit of a draft for them. So they're able to draft behind. They get a little draft from it. So they weigh what's the pros and cons of it. Yeah. But it wasn't till the next day that I saw the issue that was on the cattle ranch with the.
And who was the other one? There's a second place.
Wasn't Emily?
No, it wasn't Emily. But
anyway,
I only saw snippets on Instagram,
and I didn't read any I didn't see any.
Garrick Schurz, however you say your name.
Maybe it was.
Oh, these are the top.
Yeah, maybe she might have been Paige, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
This isn't in any defense or blame for anybody. I'm just telling you I was on that course, and I can tell you that it was easily marked.
Okay.
So either one of the riders went off course and tried to come back in. I don't know that. Or the side-by-side went off course, corrected and got in their way. I haven't read stories around what actually happened, but Brad, what you're seeing is it's someone else is filming. This isn't the live.
I saw it.
Yeah, it's a bystander filming them coming through this S-turn section of some
and the
sort.
Side-by-side goes off course and then gets back on course, but when it does, it pulls right out in front of them because it had braked to get back into the line.
What it looked like to me, it almost hit Sophia, and that's when it went off course.
Yeah,
and then when
it did do that,
when it overcorrected to not hit Sophia, it almost took out the other.
Because it slowed down and it slowed down.
And the other rider had to go off course to avoid.
To me,
that cluster.
That should not happen.
Yeah.
Oh, agree.
I mean, people ripped and tore into Mid-South as an organization, and I thought that was a little unfair. Bobby's not the one driving that cart. Yeah, they're representing them because they hired them.
Oh, yeah.
But everyone immediately, not everyone, a lot of people. Immediately oh, now it's a social movement. Now it's a protest. How dare you?
How many
do this
times
to
have we
people?
talked about the Instagramification of gravel and how that racer audience is just it's on or off. It's just there is no level of gray. It's black, it's white, it's this is wrong, this is right. But to me, it seems to be the Instagram culture of the gravel scene.
The video hadn't even been out an hour, and it was, how dare Mid-South not even bring this up and address this? They better address this immediately. They're probably doing some investigation to figure out what happened before they... They came out and they apologized.
They apologized for it. And now, that said, I'm going to agree with the general flavor. It was a boneheaded approach to it.
The driver, yes.
I don't know all of the detail, so I'm not laying blame. I'm not laying blame on Bobby. I'm not laying blame. Maybe it wasn't the driver's fault.
I don't know either.
Maybe one of the racers did something completely boneheaded, but that's also one of the things we learned a long time ago that there's just no room for chase vehicles and racers on the gravel roads. And at those levels, when the racers are going that much faster than our local heroes racers, I can only imagine how much. The reality is the bikes go faster than the trucks, the side-by-sides, and the motorcycles. The bikes go faster than them with competent riders, particularly when there's money on the line. Now, that's Mid-South still doesn't put any money on the line, right? Or am I wrong on that one?
That I couldn't answer.
Understood. Understood.
Really, the only true safe way to do it is buy a helicopter, and you can't afford that. That is insane amounts.
Well,
of money.
Lifetime can.
Because Lifetime has a lot more money. Yeah.
Why don't we just get one of the Tesla robots to pilot the side by
Why
side?
don't we get AI to just pretend to film
Well,
it?
here's how. Now, I will say this: when Gravel Worlds did it, was it 3 years ago now? Two, at least two. It's been 3 years ago when they did the first true live streaming of their event, and that was the one where Emily and Lauren were doing the 1-2, and Lauren ended up winning. I think that was 2 years ago. Gravel Worlds did an amazing job with their Starlink hookup and following with the racers, but you also had, I think, Amanda Nauman, and married name now, former racer, or maybe she's coming back. She was in the side-by-side doing the play-by-play. So my guess is she was probably saying, don't get too close here, get off to the side there, don't dust them. Yeah. So I think that's a different perspective. I'm guessing there probably wasn't anyone like that at the Mid-South side-by-sides. I could be wrong, but
the unfortunate thing is that one mistake, there may have been more, but that one mistake was made, and it overshadowed I completely recognize the complexity, the difficulty, the organized chaos it must be to try to put on a multi-cam, when I say multi-race, I mean, there's a men's group and a women's group. So let's call it a multi-race. Multi-cam, multi-race, multi-voiceover with the two hosts. They had, like I said, 2 or 3 cameras per race.
It's tough to pull off.
I would not want to be involved in that. It sounds like absolute massive amounts of stress. So I appreciate them making the attempt. It was unfortunate that one thing overshadowed it.
There was a lot more than the one is my understanding.
Okay.
There were that might have been the worst one. And
I think that's what I mean.
Yeah. But the ongoing dusting evidently was an issue.
Yeah.
But there were other close calls out on course. Again, I'm not saying that I agree. I applaud them for attempting it. And I don't know how you fix that. What we found when we tried to do stuff like that in the past was it's not viable. It just is not viable. Now, with drones and Starlink and the broadcast technology that's out there, I can see where there could be a relay setup where cameras on certain bikes in the mix. Well, Lifetime tried it. The guy on the e-bike in the group, where maybe you get Matt Stevens on an e-bike.
I did see photographers out there on e-bikes for sure.
Maybe you get somebody like a Matt on an e-bike, and he's the documentarian, live broadcast. And with the e-bike, he can do a Starlink Mini on the back of it and ride at the back of the second chase group or whatever else. I don't know. And I'm not saying Matt's shouldn't be riding in that group, but you get somebody with that skill set and that experience in the middle of it all, and that credibility with the racers themselves. I think something like that has potential, but particularly when you do tricked up courses, and I use tricked up, it sounds like I'm saying that I like doing tricked up courses myself. When you throw the oddball stuff in the mix, I mean, like that section, you wrote it. You said it was a cattle ranch, or what was
very similar to what you've done on different rides where they got special permission to go through.
So what public roads?
No, that was that section that they removed the single track, because in years past, a little bit of single track.
Yeah.
There's no more single track, but you go into that person's property. That was the final water station along with the Salsa Chase Lounge. And so you continue through that person's property on some Jeep roads that had a little bit, I wouldn't say technical, but it was more technical than the normal roads. There's some gravelly downhills and some some little descent sections. Certainly not classified as single track. But when you came in that section, it was roped off when you first come in, if I remember correctly, come off the road. And then it was just like double track.
Okay.
2 dirt paths with a grassy path in the middle of it. Very easy to follow. All right. There's no mistake.
So you guys did that section as well the next day.
For sure.
The section of the video that I saw, it looked like they were just in grass.
That's because what I believe is that when you come in on the property, you're slightly uphill. And I think the person that was taking that video was either at the water table or the chase lounge. which was towards the bottom.
So they were shooting up
They were
the
shooting uphill,
hillside.
and there was grass. It was a pasture. It was a green grass.
But it looked like the two female riders were riding just through grass, and it looked like it was just cordoned off with cones or something.
Maybe this is where they were trying. Maybe before that video was taken, maybe the side by side was in the way, and they were trying to ride outside it. Maybe
That's what it looked like to me. It looked like they had to go off the course to avoid the side by side originally, but I never heard all the detail.
I mean, the fact that everybody just wanted to lambaste him for what was obviously an honest mistake, and yes, it was dangerous.
That's the issue. It's not them making a mistake on course.
Yeah.
Somebody could have been seriously hurt.
I think that they were treating it as like assault and negligence. Like, yeah, I guess there was something a little bit negative, but I don't think that
It does border on negligence.
No,
though.
I'm sorry. You're right. I used the wrong word. They immediately attacked this person without actually knowing what happened. And it was a mistake, but it was like, oh my, instead of focusing their energy on making sure that the riders made it through it safe, it was more focused on.
I don't disagree.
Oh my God, let's crucify this person before.
And that's my point. That's Instagramification of the audience for those events right now. I agree with that. That is a knee-jerk overreaction, but I agree with the basic premise of that does border on negligence without, again, I'm looking at it from an events organizer or promoter's perspective. And we'll talk about some of that related to what our ride this weekend, that all three of us were in the same spot at one time in the wild, not doing this, which that was a blast. But some feedback I got on our event over the weekend, I want y'all's opinion on that as well.
Yeah. The bottom line is it was their first time doing it. They're going to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And luckily nobody was hurt. And this was, other than someone getting hurt, this was probably the worst mistake they could have made. But did they learn from it? I'm positive they did.
Absolutely.
And should they be granted a little grace? Yes.
Agreed.
And I understand the nature of the issue that somebody could have been injured. But like you said, nobody knows exactly what transpired. We have some video, we have some people that want to position on it, but it was a freaking mistake.
The other thing is, the thing that we're out there doing is inherently dangerous to begin with.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to dodge motos.
You're piling danger on top of danger.
But it's, let's take a step back.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
Because any of those racers, like they're flying through intersections with, and I know this isn't a knock towards them, because if I was a professional racer, I'd do the same thing, but they're flying through those intersections with that, like they're completely dependent upon crossing guards. There's a lot of danger that they're putting themselves in already. Yeah. Doesn't excuse what happened. I'm just saying, put a few things in perspective about what's going on.
So that's the root of it. And I, again, leaning on that label that so many people hate, spirit of gravel mentality, that I still fall back on. Obviously, Bobby has over the years, and he's finally acknowledged the pro separation aspect of things. And this is where I agree with the separate day for pros, is if the racing is getting to that level, at least at the pro level, the safety factors and accommodations for intersection crossings and things like that have to be at the pro level as well. And the reality is, grassroots promoters like myself are never going to have the resources to do something.
Most of the dangerous, if I can recall, the majority, if not all of the heavy traffic crossings, all had someone there, whether it was a sheriff, policeman, or a volunteer group.
When you have 4,000 customers,
safety nightmare with
you can afford to take on that overhead. But when you have 75 people and making sure they have burgers waiting for them at the end, that doesn't work into the budget, generally speaking. So I think it makes sense to have a distinct separation of this is a grassroots event versus this is a pro event. And the pro events, I think, need to be truly pro at this point.
It gave Bobby and the race organizers the ability to focus on the two unique groups of riders.
Yeah.
I thought that was a brilliant idea. I really did. Everything about Saturday, with the exception of the really spicy boys and girls up front,
which that's always going to be.
99% of everyone out there was out there to have a good time, and that's what the focus was on that day. And the focus was.
So are you saying Matt spicy? Spicy Matt?
Spicy Matt.
Spicy Matt.
Spicy Lauren. Yeah, so it was good.
Lauren was pro racing it on Friday.
She did race Friday. That's right.
Did pretty well, I think.
She got fifth, I think.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the Saturday, the real people
Yeah. I
gravel
want
riding.
to hear your feedback.
No, Saturday at the Mid-South. So
32ers? Were there any 32ers?
did you see any 32-inch bikes out there?
I did. And I told you, I texted you and said, or both of y'all, and I said I saw one, and you
Yeah.
asked me what it was, and I said, I don't remember. I didn't see a brand. And then you sent whatever the link to that one bike. That was the bike.
That was
Yeah.
the bike you saw.
That was the one I saw. And it was even more odd to see it because the guy riding it was bigger than Adam. Hey, this guy was probably maybe 6'4", 6'5" off the bike. So he was probably on
He was appropriately sized for the
on
bike.
an extra large bike frame.
Yeah.
On 32s. So it was a very
looked
riding
proportionate.
by. Am I looking at it
Yeah.
through a telescope?
Yeah.
What am I looking at? Big wide flat bars on it. It just looked big and sturdy.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Was it a mountain bike or was it a gravel bike?
Yeah, but it was a fully rigid mountain bike. Did it have a
Yeah, it had a carbon fork. I remember that.
Yeah. But I don't remember seeing it. I mean, that was on the Salsa group ride on Friday.
Okay.
I don't recall seeing one out on the course
Out on
on
the
Saturday.
course.
Of course they were there, but there were so many people.
So how does Resupply work at Mid-South these days for the mortals?
I'm trying to think what we did.
They used to have a couple towns that
Yeah. So they had, I believe they had three resupply stops.
Okay.
We did not stop at the first one. We stopped at the second one, which was in a little town, and I should remember these towns, but this is one of those races where I did not want to go in because our goal was just to go in and have a good time. I looked at it and went, I got enough water for that. I got enough water for that. Okay, done. I didn't,
So what was your water sitch? Did you carry
2 bottles,
Uh-huh.
and then I had an empty hydration bladder until I knew I needed it. And so the first water stop, by the way, when we started that morning, I think it was like 45, 48 degrees, fairly cool. And I looked at the weather and it wasn't going to get above 60 for several hours. So I knew I wasn't going to need a ton of water. And I think the first water drop was at water station was like maybe mile 26.
Yeah, but you said y'all passed that up.
We did. So I had enough water. But when we got into the second stop, the first one we stopped at, I put, I think, of 2 bottles. That hydration bladder, I think, is a 1.5 liters, the little skinny one. I put 2 bottles worth of water. I didn't fill it up
Yeah.
because I didn't want to weigh it down. I knew I didn't need that. And they had snacks and typical race
Yeah.
fruits, bananas, Cokes, all that kind of stuff. I think they had a mechanic at all the places.
Did you get him to adjust your derailleur?
I did. I told him my derailleur was slipping.
missing.
And my blinker fluid. Yeah. So something happened to my derailleur. Okay. So I'm sold on, and I texted him Sunday morning after this weekend. I'm sold on Simply Cycling Nutrition.
Okay.
I'm a cuck.
Okay.
I texted him and told him I've been playing with it. When he first gave us those samples, I still had like 2.5 bags of tailwind, some other stuff, and I wanted to get through all that. So I started testing his stuff. And then the last 5 events that I've done, I've put a package in each bottle, which is, to be honest, sometimes it's like drinking pancake syrup. It's super thick and it's very sweet, but there is no question it has improved my performance without a doubt.
And he did win the 100-mile.
He did win the 100 mile this week, and that stuff is sticky. It's like glue. You can see it stuck to the side of the bike.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I thought that was just Brad getting excited when he looked at your bike.
so I'm on board with that. So going back to your question about hydration and
Yeah.
stopping and nutrition,
So did you carry bags of his
I
nutrition
did.
with
I
you?
put one bag in each bottle, and then I had 2 bags in my front bag, 2 of his pouches.
Yeah.
And on the second stop, I felt like I was well hydrated, and I was starting to feel a little heavy. So I only put 1 pack. I split 1 pack between 2 bottles,
Yeah.
but then topped it off with Scratch. So I'm still getting the calories from his stuff, but I was getting the electrolytes
Yeah.
from Scratch. So
That's what I was wondering, is if you were fortifying electrolytes in his mix.
I am.
Yeah.
I didn't on Mid-South. Actually, I did. I'm sorry. When I filled my bottles up that morning, I put a scoop of electrolytes in each one that I
Yeah.
bought from Amazon.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a way to carry those electrolytes with me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I didn't want to pre-mix a bag and get all that shit. So I knew they'd have Scratch out on the course.
Okay.
So that's why I was supplementing. And then this weekend, I had pre-mixed bottles with his stuff and with electrolytes.
Yeah.
So
And you carried
I'm on
more.
board.
You
I
carried
could-
more with you.
Yeah. When we had the mile 44 water drop at the cemetery, that's when I put in 2 new bags. So I took in 1,200 calories of at least just on liquids alone on the ride. And I think that's been one of my biggest mistakes over the years is thinking I'm taking in enough calories and I am not. I always wanted to,
very common.
and I think I always tended to want to eat my calories instead of drinking. I just wanted clean, fresh water. And I just needed to train myself and get over the fact that's not the best thing to do. Water is just not I would do scratch. I mentioned that earlier, but I didn't rely on it. It was more like a supplementing what I was eating.
Yeah.
But I'm still eating. I stopped at that gas station. I got a pack of peanut M&Ms, a couple packs, and took those down. Yeah. But yeah,
I think you're better.
Pack as many calories in your bottles as you can handle.
Yeah, I think you're better served getting the majority of calories through fluids and then fortifying it with food, solid food.
Yeah.
But it's easier for you to digest liquid calories, obviously.
Yeah.
When it absorbs quicker, it's less trouble on your stomach. And
There's less, you're not having to break any solids down.
Yeah. As long as it's something that agrees with you. Yeah. There are powders and mixes and stuff that some people don't find agreeable, and everybody's different. But
I would definitely recommend because two scoops of Tailwind is 200 calories.
Yeah.
One pack of his
is 400.
It's 400 calories. It's a lot. So don't drink an entire bottle of that for the first time, or 2 bottles of that for the first time.
You got to build up
in an event.
Yeah.
You got to work your way up, make sure your gut can handle it.
Well, that was going to be my next question. So are you riding with all your training rides or your everyday rides? Are you using Justin's stuff then, or do you break it out for events, or how does that work?
It depends on how long I'm going to ride. If I'm just going from my house, we call it the square loop. Honk, honk. We ride Gravel Bomb, Corbin, UNT, the square. We loop the square and then come back. It's like
the dense
it's like 17 miles or whatever. Probably don't take in, I won't fill an entire bottle. I may put a half a bag if I need a little bit of calories. Typically when I do that, it's in the middle of the day and I've already had breakfast and snacks, so I got plenty of calories in me.
And roughly how long a ride is that? How many hours?
It's about an hour and 20 minutes, maybe an hour and 15, depending on how fast we're riding. So on a typical like cruising training ride, like if I'm not going out for more than 2 hours, I don't put a lot of calories in. I don't think I need it. I'm not hammering. I'm not going into zone 5 the whole ride or whatever, zone 4. When we ramble, that's 3 or 4 hours. I'm definitely taking it, doing it then.
Yeah, you're making me think. Like yesterday, I was out. My ride time was a little over 3 hours. I carried 3 bottles with me, and I had 2 scoops of Tailwind in each bottle, so I had roughly 600 calories. Yeah. I ran out of water Tailwind mix probably 10 minutes before I got to your house, and I could have stood more calories because I had some Slim Jims with me, and I ended up eating those.
Did you snap into it?
Yeah, I snapped into it. But I did stop and cut that tree.
Cut that by yourself?
Yeah.
The one that we purposely avoided last weekend because it was so...
Yeah.
That tree was 10,
It wasn't that big. It was about maybe 8 inches. But it was pretty dead. But I did have to cut it almost all the way before it would snap.
Pretty hard enough.
Yeah.
Hey, going back to the calories real quick, one last thing. The other mistake that I learned, and I'm sure there's plenty of people listening, and you guys especially, are like, yeah, of course, dipshit. I would always start drinking calories way too late.
Yeah.
This time around, I started drinking it 5 miles in.
Yeah.
It finally dawned on me, it's like, you're supposed to drink what's ahead of you, not what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been what my issue was on XL.
Yeah, 100%. I tried to tell you that.
Did you?
Yeah.
You specifically told me to make sure and eat ahead.
We both did.
Yeah.
Eat early.
Yeah.
100%.
You had your plan in mind and you weren't listening to anything we said.
Go back and review the tape. I can't even remember who to attribute this to, but somebody told me a long time ago is if you wait on a bike ride until you're hungry, it's too late.
You're right.
Yeah. And so the mantra is stay ahead, be ahead.
Yep.
But you can overdo it going ahead too much.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to drink 2 bottles before you're 20 miles in.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'm doing too is when I realize I'm 15 miles away, 10 miles away from the next water stop, I don't care what I have left over. I'm drinking every single bit of it as fast as I can. I'm not like trying to...
You're not whipping out a funnel.
But I'm making sure that I have emptied my bottles. There's no reason to show up at a water station.
Do not show up at a water station with half a bottle left.
Yeah. Drink it all down before you get there. That's not to have more water on the way to the next stop. It's to make sure you're hydrated for the next 30 or 40 miles.
Yep.
So what's the feedback? I had a great route. A lot of those roads I recognized from the Rat. So there was a lot of stuff that I'd seen before that was good to see again, but then the majority of it was all new. It was really great.
It seemed to me like the 100-milers had more fun than anybody.
It was designed around the 100-mile course. There's no doubt about that. So,
did you route through that alley in Nakona? I meant to ask you.
No, I did not.
You didn't.
I decided that was going to be too confusing.
Okay.
That said, I'm still very interested in actually staging a ride from Nakona at some point.
Nakona's cool, man.
That was a cool little town.
Yeah.
I would like to put it to better use. What I'm going to do, I'm going to read you the email I got from, we'll call him Bob, but I do want to preface this on the front end. While I did disagree with his points, I'm not dismissing the validity of his points, but I want to use it as an opportunity to explain, going back to the grassroots aspect of us versus those big events, why we do some of the things we do. And I want to hear what y'all's thoughts are on my logic. And maybe my logic is off. And that's what I want to get to. And I had this queued up before. Why is it gone now? Okay. So Bob wrote, I think this was your first event at this venue, as it was my first gravel event too. I thought I would share things that make it better. After 38 years of riding events, some things catch my attention. One, finish line routing. Yes, you explained verbally what to look for at the racers meeting. Unfortunately, we were looking west a little bit. Basically, he missed the finish line. I don't want to go too far into that.
I saw a small percentage of people do that. That came down the road instead of through the,
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Number two, crossing 82 near the finish. I drive through St. Joe multiple times a year, so I knew when I was close enough to the crossing, coming between buildings limits your view. This was a dangerous crossing. Either move it or have it controlled. Three, the 45, 60, or the 45 and longer distance split in Nakona proper was at a major traffic intersection at the red light. The longer routes went to the right. The short route did have to cross all the way across 82 with the traffic lights and go down the farm to market road there. He thought it was a little confusing and we should have had the arrows sooner and things like that. And generally the uncontrolled crossings at 82, he thought it was unsafe for us to be crossing a 75-mile-an-hour highway at all.
Okay. You want to go through it one by one?
So his wrap up of it was none of these are deal breakers, but could be made better. I appreciate the long lead out of town and so forth and so on. And let me give my response to him.
Did he say the burgers were overcooked too?
He did not.
Oh.
He didn't mention the burgers. I'm wondering if he missed them altogether because he didn't know where the finish line was. But the feedback is appreciated. And this is my first response. My response to it. Generally, our rides are oriented towards the social adventure riding mindset more so than the rally or racing mindset. Do y'all agree with?
But if they're different, typically my experience is that you clearly state them in the description of the event. A lot of times you don't talk about Chisholm Gravel Roundup like you talk about Chainring Massacre. You don't.
Clear
distinction.
Chainring Massacre is a race.
Yes.
Texas Gravel Champs is a race.
Yeah.
Everything else is.
When the introduction paragraph is, this is a great opportunity for it to challenge yourself, and I'm paraphrasing, and see parts of North Central Texas that you've never seen before. That is not a race.
Yeah. But appreciate where Bob's coming from.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing.
And we had a lot of, I was caught off guard by the number of first-time Spinistry riders we had.
How many did you have?
You were there for the riders meeting when they raised their hands. Probably a third of them.
I hadn't made it to the top of the hill yet.
Oh, you missed the all-important riders meeting.
No, I got to the
No, I'm kidding.
It's not my first rodeo.
So, yes, we had more people than I was expecting.
That's great.
I'll be honest with you. I tried to set this one up so it would actually be a good fit for our regular Spinistry riders. And that's why my shortest distance was 45 miles. I didn't want there to be a perception of there's a beginner distance. This is going to be tough.
Yeah.
45 miles out there is still a good ride.
I don't do every event. I can't make every event.
Sure.
But I go to a lot of them. I will say, I did not see very many familiar faces. There was a lot of new people I had not seen before. Not that I know everybody, but I even heard you talking to the one guy that said, "Hey, here's my buddy. It's his first event." ever of any kind of event. He goes, we're going to ride out about 20 miles and then turn around and come back or whatever.
Yeah, 10 miles.
Or 10 miles and come back or whatever.
For 20 miles total.
So I did see that.
And we had a number of those. And
that's great.
Which I thought was cool. I think what it was, is one of the bigger cycling clubs in the area. They all got together and said, hey, let's go do a spin street ride. It was also, and Foster brought this up, it's also an older demographic than we don't get me wrong.
He's right.
Our gravel riders, generally speaking, are getting older. There's no doubt about that, except for that young racing crowd. There's two distinct audiences now. There's the 20 to early 30s racing gravel riders, and then there's the 45 and up traditional. And there's a gap in between. Yeah. And I don't know if there's a way to fill that in or not. Obviously, we cater to the 45 and up crowd. This one seemed to be a 55 and up crowd, generally speaking. You were on the young side.
Wait, what'd you say?
You were on the young side.
Did you hear what he said, Brad?
Yeah.
I don't know if you were listening to.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of young. I interacted with basically everybody because they all had to see me for food. And I do agree it was an older demographic.
And it was even older than our traditional demographic.
Yeah.
And which, again, in my head,
the male was older. The female seemed to be about.
I saw a pretty good mix.
Yeah.
On the female side, we had a really good mix.
Yeah.
And we actually had a little bit larger female crowd than we've been having.
That's what I told Paula. I said I was surprised at how many females were there.
I think that was a byproduct of the club. What I think is a club, maybe too, that kind of made a group outing of it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to, and if you're listening to this or watching this and please, shiftlesslive@gmail.com. Fill me in on how this newer audience got here. I think the food had something to do with it, quite frankly, letting them know that there was going to be a good meal waiting on them.
A burger and a root beer after 102 miles, pretty satisfactory.
And pretty damn good burgers.
It was good too. Yeah.
Pretty damn good burgers. So I definitely want to keep leaning on this. But I'm not going to go over all of it, but basically what I followed up with Bob is we're not trying to be everything for everyone, or attempting to have the largest attendance possible. I'm not dismissing your points by any means. I'm just pointing out that our stuff finds equilibrium with the right audience. It's like people like us do the things that we do.
Yeah.
If we're a good fit for you, you're going to come back for more. And if we're not a good fit for you, no harm, no foul. I appreciate it. Different people are looking for different things. And I'm not twisting anyone's arm that the way we do it is the right way to do it. The way we do it is the right way we do it for our stuff. But going back to my own experience putting on these events, a lot of these things I do as somewhat of a qualification gate, in that we don't mark the 100-mile route where it's different from the shorter routes. It's like, I don't want people doing our 100-mile routes that don't know how to use a GPS.
I think that's a great leash to have.
And the other thing is you need to defend the position of, occasionally there are areas that are not going to be ideal, that you're going to have to deal with in order to connect all of these beautiful pieces that you do get to ride, because you can't link them all together harmoniously and not have a crossing of 82 or something like that in the mix. It's nearly impossible. And with an event of that size, you can't have officers standing there for 4 or 5 hours directing traffic to cross 82.
Clear something up for me. Did he say this was his first spinistry event or gravel?
First gravel event. So his experience, and he's 38.
That
riding
that
for
clears
38.
up some things.
My guess is all of his event experience is rallies and races.
Yeah.
On road.
Yeah.
Would be
If he hadn't been on a gravel.
yeah.
And probably longer or larger events, obviously.
That would be my
Like
guess.
Hotter Than Hell and Peach Pedal and Munster.
And that would be my guess. But so I did put in a paragraph. There's no way to string together a multi-day. Basically, I'm saying what I'm trying to get people is to progress in their own self-sufficiency for longer stuff.
Yeah.
There's no way to string together a multi-day, multi-100-mile adventure without crossing and utilizing high-speed highways along the way. Being cognizant of traffic patterns in different towns is crucial. And I didn't go, this is something I want to reinforce to everybody. Matt Stevens is the best example of this. And Brad is maybe the best example of the antithesis of this.
Shit.
Here we go. I'm ready. Anytime we can.
I highly suggest when you get those GPS files, do your homework and look at the route and see where it goes.
Yes.
And see if it does go through a town, what might be, where's my heads up to where I want to stop in that town to go to a store or get a burger or a quesadilla, where I need to be cognizant of how I'm going to get across the road when it's a 4-lane highway. Do some of that basic research ahead of time. It helps a lot.
Gravel events in essence, and as you work down to the smaller events or events that aren't unbound or aren't mid-south, it doesn't even matter if you're doing the 30 mile, the 50 mile, the 100 mile, there is a level of self-reliance that is a requirement. Now, you don't have to be quite as reliant as the 30. You don't have to be quite, and then a little more for the 50, and then
it's a progression.
It's a progression. But even if it's base, there's more self-reliance needed than a road rally and a road race. Typically, those things are very well babysitted, and you get treated a little bit differently. I think that's the way it's supposed to be. You're not riding on nice, smooth pavement that treats your body well. Just by merely signing up, you're going to put a hurt on your body for an extended period of time. I think that to me is, and I'm not being critical of this guy whatsoever.
No,
I appreciate him having the courage to email you feedback on his first event.
10,000% correct.
First gravel event.
Agreed.
And I think that he's experiencing things in this gravel event world that are unique to that world.
Yep.
Nothing he said surprised me really. Oh, is there a little bit of routing chaos? Gravel.
Yeah.
Is there crossing roads that are busy,
that aren't controlled?
Gravel, because you can't go out on a gravel ride and not cross a busy intersection. And you just have to slow down and stop your race. And from one end of that crossing to the other, you are no longer a competitor, you are a survivor.
Yeah.
And it's from getting to point A to point B, get across the road, and then get back.
And the reality is, my expectation for my events, and every gravel event is different, every gravel promoter is different. My expectation is that, generally speaking, the riders are going to follow the transportation code and not blow through stop signs. And I don't do the controlled intersections because you need to have your head on a swivel. And hell, we almost got T-boned just driving it.
I wasn't driving.
You almost got T-boned riding?
We were scouting the short routes, and
we almost got fucking plowed by a dump truck.
It wasn't that close, but it seemed like it because there was a rise coming from the left. And so I did the look to the left, look to the right, clear. Took my foot off the brake and started to roll as I'm doing my last look to the left. And here comes a dump truck.
Hauling ass.
Too fast.
We stopped in plenty of time.
Still scared the shit out of me.
Which side was it on?
It was on the driver's
side.
Oh, you
but it was a Jeep. That Jeep is not going to fare well against a fucking dump truck.
We're not going to fare well against a dump truck.
Nothing is, but also I believe Brad's head was down. I think he was texting or something like that. So
I almost called permanent seat check in the front seat of that Jeep.
It was like I take my foot off the brake, I look to the left, dump truck's coming, and I say, "Oh shit," or something like that, and didn't slam on the brakes, but I broke when he thought we were rolling.
He come back quick,
and it woke him up. He looks and he thought we were toast.
We're glad you're with us, Brad.
Yeah, it was closer than I would have liked it. I liked it to have been. This was my first scouting event.
You don't know what you're getting into. There's a level of self-reliance.
Oh my God.
Hey, go.
I was shook. I was shook a little bit.
It wouldn't have been enough for me to say anything post-ride because it didn't bother me. But yeah, the finish was a little confusing. Yeah, but okay, cool. You just put more markers out next time, or you learn. It's not a big deal. But other than that, and maybe it's the self-support bikepacking riding style in me. There was nothing about it that seemed out of the ordinary from what is a typical Spinistry event.
But again, you're used to Spinistry events and you're used to this type of ride and this type of event, and you do it on your own. My guess is this guy's never done anything like this out there on his own.
Good for him for doing something new.
Exactly.
I think what a lot of it boils down to is when people realize they're getting close to the finish, they stop looking at their navigation and they start looking for visual cues. And so they're not looking, if it says turn here, they're still looking up, going, oh, okay, I'm in town.
Okay, and that brings up a really good point. And I was reminded by one of the attendees that thanked us profusely for still marking course.
Yeah.
She said that we're basically the only gravel event out there that still marks course, evidently.
It's because you want it to be beginner friendly.
But I also I got to do something to justify charging people to show up. If I'm just putting a GPS file, here, pay me $150, go ride.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't.
Yeah.
No, but to me, it makes sense if you were to have a rule that says, I don't mark a course after mile 50 or whatever the mileage is. To me, that starts to make sense because going out marking a 100-mile course is way different than marking a 40 or 50-mile course.
Yeah.
Like for Texas Chainring Massacre, I still mark the whole route, generally speaking. But most of the longer ones, the idea is if you're riding my 100+ miler, you're training for something else.
Yeah.
You're using this as a tool to get to that next level. So if you're going somewhere else, you do have to be self-navigating on those. Even for the shorter distances, I want our rides to be the tool that teaches people how to properly utilize their GPS and navigation.
Yeah.
The expectation is you're leaning on your navigation device. The arrows are a backup to that.
Yeah.
Is the approach I'm taking.
Speaking of which, did Mid-South, did they mark anything? Are there any arrows or?
No, the only thing they mark are busy intersections.
Right.
There'll be like little real estate size signs, maybe 30 yards or I don't know, some distance from there. And it'll say hazardous crossing or busy intersection. But even then, those had someone stationed there. I think maybe there was one or two that were out that they didn't have someone maybe way up north or whatever. No marking other than that. Or like I said, going through that cattle ranch, there was some taping.
Yeah.
But even if that wasn't there, you follow the double track and it takes you to where everyone is. But I would say, no, it's not like actually marked.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And going to the way we do our finishes, generally speaking, I know our finishes never line up to be that perfect finishing chute set up for a sprint finish.
Yeah, why aren't you there shaking champagne and hugging everybody?
And I get that. I do understand why that's the preferred finish for most participants. I get it completely. That's just something that's not within our bandwidth is ultimately what it boils down to.
That's also why you offer very reasonably priced events.
Yeah.
Are you going to mark the USA Trail?
There will be shiftless stickers along the way.
And maybe some environmental manager stickers.
Maybe, possibly. And I'm really getting excited about unveiling the branding change on that. When am I going to be able to do that?
Yeah. So I have one look completely pretty much finished to show you, but it's a little bit different it's a slight deviation from what you wanted. The other one of what you wanted, I'm still in the middle of that.
Okay.
So probably by end of week, if not the next couple of days.
Fantastic. Because I'm super excited about unveiling that and launching that. Because Brad and we're going to be really talking about that all next week and recording stuff around that.
And we're leaving on Monday.
Y'all going to go drive it?
Yeah.
The whole thing?
No, we're not starting in Florida. We're going to proof the end, last 80 miles, 100 miles?
Which
100
direction?
We're going to California.
Yeah, we're going all the way to San Diego.
Are you going to California with an aching in your heart?
I don't know what that means.
It's a Led Zeppelin song.
Oh,
We're going because I left my wallet in El Segundo.
so
You got to get it. You got to get it.
So actually going to California was the original name for the route. Then it became the TUBA Trail, and now it's the USA Trail.
Yeah.
I think the USA Trail is going to stick. It's descriptive.
Yeah.
It tells the
It'll be
story.
fun. Are we ready to segue to that?
If you want, sure. You've got questions, I can throw them.
What's your plan? What's your duration? What are you guys going to big spoon, little spoon it in the van or what?
I'm bringing multiple habitats.
I was about to say, please don't bring just your hammock.
I'm bringing hammock.
You're going to run out of...
He's bringing hammock and tent and the spare bed in the van.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to take my REI cot?
No, I've got a bed for him.
No, I'm saying if you want to sleep under the stars, I got one of those really nice folding
might
REI
take you up
cots.
on that.
Okay, I follow.
I mean, it takes up a lot of room, but it's when it's folded even.
Yeah.
But yeah, come by and get it. It's in the attic.
Okay.
But so, do we
Leaving
know
on Monday.
crack of dawn, or what do you think?
I think we leave 5-ish.
5 in the morning,
Yeah.
and we're going to drive 18 hours ish to the Salton Sea, somewhere there.
Oh man, cool.
Probably going to reserve an electric campsite somewhere. so we can have an air conditioner if needed. And then
It's a dry heat.
it's a dry 120-degree heat.
That place looks, I've watched a little mini documentary about Yosemite and some itself and some of the surrounding areas, and it is otherworldly out there. Those ghost towns and other things.
I'm just excited to go see stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to
Taking your bikes, right?
I'm taking my Fargo.
taking the Fargo, I'm taking the Tributary, and we're taking the van. So we have to scout by bike. The van's not going to be able to do scouting. So we have to scout from the end of the Bradshaw Trail, just east of the Salton Sea, down to Slab City, from Slab City around the south end of the Salton Sea up to Highway 78. So I have stuff mapped out. I want to say it's about 80 miles.
So when you're scouting on a bike, are you actively recording, ride with GPS as you go, and then you make mental notes, or you make notes on your phone of, oh, this is out, I got to turn around, and then you go back and cut those areas out?
Typically what I'll do, scouting on the bike or by vehicle, I'll just record it on Ride with GPS, upload my file for the day, and then compare it to the map that I was planning to.
Yeah, and then you edit the map.
And then I don't write notes throughout the day. I just review it at the end of the day or the next morning and see where the difference is. Oh, that's right. That was a dead end there. We had to go this way and that. And then I update the plot.
I want to go on a scouting ride with you one time.
Oh, you're welcome anytime.
I don't want to get any involvement with dump trucks though.
It wasn't that close. It seemed like it because his head was down.
Speaking of scouting adventures, did you see that danger noodle on Friday or Saturday?
Saturday.
While you were out, because I remember you passing this on the way back into town.
Yeah.
You saw it that.
And I was out I was sweeping the long route, picking up arrows.
Never get to see
You saw that one
the
at,
tail end of it.
okay.
The very tail. Matter of fact,
I thought you saw the big one we saw coming out of 4R.
the tail end of it. No, I'm sorry. I rode past it thinking it was a big ass.
Oh, okay.
By the time I turned around and pedaled back up the hill,
Gotcha.
she gone. So I've just never.
That one was a timber rattler.
Okay.
The one from Saturday.
That's the one you can pick up at Pep.
almost.
It's a little timid.
Cuddly.
Ask Ross.
That was a thick timber rattler.
You look like the pack of Owen sausage.
Yeah.
The one this past weekend was Western Diamondback.
Yeah.
And that was a thick Western Diamondback
Yeah.
too.
She told you to step back when she got in the grass.
Well,
rattle off.
I was waiting for her to. She was wanting to come back out on
I was
the
wondering how close you were going to get to it. You kept walking, saying, "Hey, girl," and I'm going, "Dude."
Until they coil up, you don't have to worry about them.
Yeah.
When they coil up, then you make sure you're at least half a body length away from them.
All right. What y'all bringing cooking equipment, all that? Not like a
We
camp stove or anything?
I have an induction stove. So
I'm planning on dirt bagging it. Just eating whatever
that's
is
kind
available.
of what I'm thinking too. I've got a burrito joint in Ramona. I got to take them to. But outside of that, we're just going to see what we come across.
Speaking of burrito, Montague.
Oh my gosh.
The only place to get any food in Montague that you can purchase is a little place called the Burrito Shop. Cash only.
Okay, coming off the gravel route onto the highway, taking a right, going down to the grocery store and coming back. Where is it in that?
So if you would have gone left instead of and gone into town,
Okay.
it's at the main
Right there at the
intersection
roads.
in town.
Okay.
But it's not. You had Brad's food at the end, so I wasn't going to send anybody by the burrito shop before that. But it is also cash only, and I'm not sure what their Saturday hours were, but it's worth the stop. So if you're ever
Good
at
burrito?
Mon-
All right.
yeah,
Worth it.
Yeah.
Homemade flour tortillas every day.
Yeah. There we go.
Couple of old Mexican ladies in
Talk
there
to me.
doing the deal. Just super simplified.
very
menu.
limited menu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want what is pork, brisket,
I think the
chopped beef, or ground beef?
Ground beef or chicken.
My experience is like that. Places, the shorter the menu, the better the food.
100%.
Yes.
They got four things to offer you. I don't know if it's still there, but there was a taco shop in Tyler, Texas, where I grew up called El Lagar, and they had like a handful of things.
Yeah.
You just basically tell them what meat you want, kind of thing, and it's still that's some of the best.
That's how this was. It was like you had a choice between 4 meats, and then you could add any number of things like rice and beans and potatoes and pico and salsa and cheese. I think that was it. And then
And there was
you could add an egg.
there was an add an egg option that which I did, but I think Brad and I were both on the same page. If I were to redo it, I would waive the egg. I was expecting a fried egg on top.
I bet you could ask nicely for a fried egg.
You probably could.
Yeah.
It'd be worth a shot.
Yeah. But fantastic burrito, like top 5 burritos. The homemade tortilla
That
was,
kind of pushes it over
Yeah.
the goal line.
and just the whole like experience of it. You're in this tiny little, must have been a gas station or
Probably.
something.
Did you have a Doritos?
No,
Topo Chico?
I had a Bargs root beer.
A Bargs.
Yeah,
Bargs has bite.
Bargs as bite. But
Evan, what'd you drink?
It's important. Same.
yeah,
Yeah, we basically married each other on that
Yeah.
one.
it was good stuff, man.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to the next time I find myself in Montague. Back to California.
So you are going to get into San Diego.
Yes.
Where does it end at? At the midway or?
Currently, that's part of what we're going to try to sort out. So when Jan and I scouted the California stuff before, the way it was originally supposed to end didn't work to my liking. I think I found a reroute I want to try out that it basically ends at the same spot, but it avoids a bunch of road. It was perfectly safe road. I had no trouble riding a bike on it, but I didn't want to finish the last 5 miles on.
That's what I was
Major
going to
road.
ask. I was wondering maybe you come in and end on the south end of town.
No, it's north of San Diego proper. The way we have it set up now, basically Del Mar. It's ending at a spot called Dog Beach.
Oh, I know I've been to Dog Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And the way it was originally set up, the Coast to Crest Trail supposedly came out at the horse race track there, but there's a big gap of the Coast to Crest trails. But I think I found some other trails that loop around to the south and then come back up to Dog Beach. So that's what we're going to try that out.
On the back trip, are y'all going to come the same way, or are y'all going to go do sightseeing and see other things?
Depending on the timing, and Brad and I will talk about this, I still have a couple short stretches in Arizona that need to be fine-tuned. If we have the time, I'd like to do at least one, if not both of those. I also have one short stretch in New Mexico that we went around a meth trailer that I need to make sure the going around the meth trailer works properly.
Okay.
As
Is
well.
it a drive-through meth trailer?
In a way, I wouldn't want to get slowed down.
That's what I was referring to when I said the Salton Sea area, without being too obvious. I
Yeah.
said there's all kinds of cool ghost towns.
Yeah. There's interesting things around the Salton Sea. And then ideally the plan is to overnight in Albuquerque and on the way back and visit our friend Ron Wadley and go
Oh
have
yeah, it's cool.
a green chili burger somewhere.
Very cool.
Nice.
I'm excited about the sights and the food and the riding.
I
So
love the West. I love the desert. To me, it's
Anybody that's listening to this, watching this, I'll tell you now, if the USA Trail, the whole kit and caboodle is outside of your capabilities, you just don't have the time for it, carve the time to do the Arizona section at least, ideally Arizona and California, and top notch. If you can do from Tucumcari to San Diego, New Mexico, Arizona, California, it's absolutely amazing.
Is there a way, if someone wanted to do just the Arizona section, is there a way to fly in somewhere and make it what's the logistics of flying or driving, or if I wanted to do point to point, how would I get there?
Haven't broken it down to that level. It's not too, the start of the eastern end is not too terribly far from Tucson.
Okay.
So if you were to fly into Tucson and have some way to get shuttled there or dropped off, or even ride your bike from Tucson,
About approximately how long do you think it is?
man,
Is it a couple hundred
a
miles?
couple hundred miles would be my guess. Probably not quite that long.
Okay.
So 150 to 200 miles, and that's just a super rough guess.
And that's direct route. That's not even considering building a gravel route or a...
No, and that's the reason we go through Arizona the way that we do. There's a lot of reservation land,
Right.
and so it's almost impossible to go directly from Tucson.
Are you able to route it through the reservation?
No,
Around it.
I'm making a point to go around. When we were laying out the going to California route originally, I had worked out some stuff with the Ute Nation and had permissions if we went about it a certain way, but then COVID hit and all of their guidelines and permissions and permits changed, and that process changed. And that was such, rigmarole is not the right word, but it was a process. And then to have to do that with because every tribe, every stretch of reservation land is different on their permitting process and what they will and will not allow.
sure.
And it changes. And to be honest with you, my biggest thing about it was I can set it up and say, this is what you're supposed to do. But I know good and darn well that there's going to be people that just ultimately find the GPS file and just go do their own thing. I don't want to be infringing on what the permit process is supposed to be. And that falls back on me. Hey, I run into it now when people find our routes on Ride with GPS and they end up pedaling through 4R Ranch on their own. It's like, I don't have control over what other people do, but those landowners, they blame me.
Are they not okay? Would they want? They're not okay. 4R is not okay with riding through there to get from one end of their property to the other for a connection.
Oh no, that's private property.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
but it also has
they'll probably give you
a mountain bike trail on it too. But
okay, so if you
were to call them and text them or saying, hey, or
they would probably give you permission.
Yeah,
but you can't just assume that Kevin had parking here under this windmill for the event, so we're just going to park under that windmill and have 15 of our friends show up with us and do a group ride.
Oh, I wasn't suggesting that.
No, I understand, but that's what happens. People look at the GPS.
Oh, and think that's a route. We can go do that.
We can go do that route, and it starts here. Oh, it's cool. We're starting under a windmill. Just assuming you can go through a gate just because Kevin did it once in the past. But I'm just saying, if I did that with the USA Trail, I would run into the same issues on reservation land, tribal lands, and things like that, which I don't want to.
And I'm assuming does some of the route go through BLM land?
Public land, BLM.
Which is not the same rules as going through reservation land. Very much not the same rules.
I think you're just trying to future-proof it because those relationships can change.
Oh, they can change on a whim, and which they did before.
And I think that's the most important part is just make sure that it's on established
public rights way. That's all. That's everything I'm doing. That's one of the most basic things that we're scouting is that it is anybody can do it at any time. There may be like some of the Coast to Crest Trail is closed at night sort of thing, but it's still a public trail. So if somebody decides to bandit camp it, that's not on me. They're the ones that are breaking the rules of the trail and that sort of thing.
You guys going through Roswell? You're going to look
potentially. Depends on what Google Maps tells us is the right way to go at any given time.
I'm excited. So we're planning on leaving on Monday and returning either Friday or Saturday.
Saturday is the current plan. And
there's plenty of water, Caleb, if you want to pour that out.
So definitely we want to nail down that Salton Sea Big Gap. And ideally, if there's a way across the Aronzo Borea Desert that isn't Highway 78, I'd like to try to find a dirt route, but that may not happen. That might be all sand. And Highway 78 is perfectly safe to ride there. It's got a big shoulder and it's straight and level. And if you have to ride that for 20 miles of pavement, it's not the worst thing in the world, and it does go by Resupply.
That's going to be my next question is, you don't have all the answers right now because that's what you're going out to do, but what's your approximation expectation of what are some of the longest distances between resupplies?
Generally speaking, 100 miles is as long as it gets, and it's usually not that long.
Is there an average or a mean?
I try to always stay as close to 50 miles between.
That's got to be hard to do for a desert route.
Again, that's why we scout.
Yeah.
I mean, that resupply is a critical aspect of it.
Yeah, for sure.
When you say 100 miles, do you mean 100 miles for food, or do you mean 100 miles for water?
100 miles for known water. There may be opportunities for water along the way.
Like cisterns or churches.
Or rarely churches. There may be livestock troughs and things like that there.
So bring a filter.
Definitely bring a filter.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely bring a filter.
Which, that's the thing, most people wouldn't think to bring a filter on a desert route. Not a lot of water.
But again, it's a cross-country route. So if you're doing the 4,200 miles from Jacksonville to there, I think it's fair to assume at some point you're going to need to filter water.
I mean, would you guys ever assume to bring a filter for riding down in Terlingua? Not a lot of water down there.
Actually, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, that livestock trough might be the only place to get water.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't see very many of them.
Yeah.
All it takes is one.
Oh, that's true.
Livestock trough, or where crossing Terlingua Creek and it's holding some water in one spot or something like that. I say that. No, if I was just going out for a day ride, no. But if I was doing a multi-day ride from the national park and trying to get to Marfa or something like that, yeah, I would. I probably would pack a water filter, as not with the intention of using it, but if shit hits the fan, sort of thing.
Are y'all going to do updates on Facebook and stuff so we can keep up with what's going on?
I have a feeling the social medias will be active. I don't know what that's.
Y'all going to record an episode too? Out there?
Most likely.
Yeah.
But we'll see how all the timings come
I feel
together.
like we're going to have plenty of time.
Maybe if
We're going to be setting up camp and
we're going to drive 18 hours day one.
yeah, definitely not going to podcast that first day.
And we're going to get there in the middle of the night, and we're going to want to get on the bikes as early as possible
To beat the heat.
Were you guys stopping the first time?
We're going. Plan is to go to the east side of the Salsa, basically Slab City. There's a couple of RV resorts that are just north of Slab City that are basically on the route. So it's the
You haven't hit the 100 yet.
They were last week.
It'll be
They
hot.
were over 110 last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had crazy hot weather
That's Nealon, right? Nyland?
around there. And then
It's hot today.
And then what's Ocotillo Wells? What's it like? That's right in the heart of that desert. So we'll be camping there after we get the Salton Sea stuff figured out.
From today, it only goes Monday through Wednesday, and it's 91 for the high.
At Ocotillo Wells?
Yeah, for next week.
Nice.
70 basically, approximately at night. Yeah, 2 mile an hour wind though. That's the key.
Yeah.
Is you get to ride without any wind.
So I found a guy's YouTube channel, San Diego Gravel Rider or something like that. After Jan and I did our scouting, some of the places we ended up hitting, I did some YouTube searches, and this guy did he had a ride that was basically almost exactly the same as the route I had mapped out on the coast to Crest. And he posted a video the other day where he bonked out in 110-degree heat around San Diego.
Yeah, man,
It was a crazy heat wave out there. So hopefully that's all broken by the time we get there. I may even try to message that guy, see if he's got some chips for us out that way.
guys,
Or nothing.
plenty of water.
Maybe he'll want to meet for a burrito or something. Who knows? So, speaking of food, what'd you think of the food production at this past weekend at Chisholm Gravel Roundup?
It went better than I could have anticipated. That concession stand was clutch for the wind and just having a easily identifiable place for people to come and get food. The setup inside
It's very clean inside.
Yeah, it was about as good as I could have hoped for. I think burgers, the flat top, all that was a perfect call. The only way it would have been better is if that big freaking grinder behind me would have gotten here about a week earlier, and I would have ground my own meat, and it would have been a leveled up experience.
Good though.
Yeah, not bad.
Salty, fatty, carby
Yeah,
meal after that ride was
on point.
what needed to happen.
Yeah, I felt like I had numerous people just praise me over the burger.
Oh, those were damn fine burgers. There's no doubt about that.
A couple of people told me that was the best burger they'd ever had. And I said, you just rode and got it like straight away, and you didn't have to fish for cash and everything else. But everybody I interacted with was super nice, and everybody
How
had a
many do
great
you think
time.
you sold? Do you think what I'm getting at is how many people, overwhelming majority, partook?
Oh, yeah.
You think you served 150 burgers?
No, I did.
We only had 80 show up.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Let's see. Veggie burgers, I did 5 veggie burgers. And then I did about 75-ish, 70 regular burgers. And then for the 100 milers, I was doing double burgers, double patties.
Yeah.
So probably around 80 burgers total, give or take. Kevin, myself, Jan, and Foster.
Okay. At what point were you, like at your busiest, how many were you trying to, did you have a long line of wait? What would be the wait time?
No, I had one, I call it the crux of everything was I was serving like 12 people at a time. And it was, but I was cooking 6 at a time.
That's
so it was
quick.
6, boom, and hey, your guys are working. And I was turning burgers in about 3 minutes. I could do 6 burgers in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
All 6, not 6 times 3. So
Until I bothered him while he was cooking and just threw him completely off.
What did you do?
I did get sidetracked when he was in there because I was trying to talk to him and I was still kind of getting my groove. Yeah.
You got to say, hey, look here, mister. You're the boss of the outside. I'm the boss in here.
But I got myself set up with a pretty good system. I had everything flowing. That's one of the things I do is I overthink things before I ever get started. And that's why I portioned all the beef out. I had everything individually.
Yeah, I noticed
weighed.
when you were loading the griddle, you had a perfect baseball sized.
Yeah.
All right.
Meatball.
So between Butterfield and Chisholm, we've done this a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I think third time's going to be the charm for a single day traditional event. So my goal is, and I think I can twist his arm to it unless this road trip he doesn't want to spend overnights with me. The goal is to do USA Trail meetups along the trail in different states.
Yeah.
And kick off the Mississippi section, the New Mexico section, the Arizona, and do these. We'll do a spinistry ride, but with Brad's food waiting for us at the end. And it's not going to be 200 people events. It's going to be, we're introducing spinistry and FAM and the USA Trail to maybe 30 or 50 people sort of thing, but where we're having a heck of an adventure along the way.
Yeah, and in between a sous vide, an induction burner, and a flat top, I think we can do pretty much everything we want to do.
And who knows, every once in a while, we might just get a whole commercial kitchen to ourselves as well.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know.
But that concession stand was quite the gift.
St. Joe was awesome to us.
Oh, yeah.
Top notch. Thank you, St. Joe.
Yeah, it was. And the experience going in and talking to her was awesome, too, because literally I was like, let's ask if we can use the concession stand. The worst they can say is no, and I could just set up underneath that pavilion, which would, in retrospect, would have been perfectly fine because all the wind was coming that way. So setting up under that pavilion would have been a windbreak too. But I liked having my own little area and having that service window, and it worked out really well. I had 0 complaints. That flat top worked flawlessly. That was obviously
Cool. So I'll be able to twist your arm to cook for another event or two along the way then.
Oh, heckin' yes.
And I think Brad has a new best friend that I introduced him to this past week as well.
Oh, Betty Joe.
Betty Joe.
She's freaking awesome.
Who's this?
The pie lady.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Fill us in on the pie. I saw the social media post. You guys just stopped and
Nope.
the pie shop made friends?
So this is how small this whole world is.
Well, you know what they say. It's a small world after all.
It is, after all. Lori, who owned the Ponderosa, that I did multiple
I met Lori.
events for, she was really good friends with Betty Joe. And then Betty Joe
So
was,
a couple years ago.
yeah. And then Lori continuously said, you need to meet Betty Joe. And it just never happened.
Okay.
So then the Hocamps introduced Kevin to Betty Joe.
Hocamps know her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Where's she out of? Where's that?
Hood, Texas.
Okay.
And then, so Kevin wants to link us up to do an event. So then he introduces me to her and her property. She's got a cool little quaint setup. I don't even know how you would describe it. A bunch of buildings, a bunch of grain silos that have been converted.
Delightfully eclectic.
Yes.
It's there like in Hood downtown square area, or is it on her own property?
No. There is no Hood downtown.
Hood's
square.
up near Bowie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
In Archer City, heading that direction?
just west of Valley View, just north of Era.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So we've done a couple holiday ramble rides with the pies from this place the past couple of years.
Okay.
So it's below Lindsay and in that area in between Valley View, Munster, Lindsay, Era.
Yeah.
That's him, not me.
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you. So it's literally in the middle of nowhere. It's a community center that I think is an old church, maybe. It's got that look to it.
Yeah.
And it was actually in Armageddon. They used it as one of the sets in Armageddon. And then Betty Joe's house across the road from the communities. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the sweetest, cutest lady, and just has that fire, that passion for food. And
So what is she doing? She run just a pie shop, or is it a bakery, full bakery, or what's going on over
Just
there?
pie.
she's just pies. And
How
she
are
makes,
these pies. Yeah.
you're not ready.
Can we get us a route through there? And
We're doing a pie ride on the 25th.
April 25th.
Yeah.
Would you like me to read the event description
So we're
to you,
partnering
Caleb?
up with her, and we're going to focus my food and her pies. And it's going to be more of a hangout than an event. It's going to be basically meet up there and do a loop and come back and hang out and eat.
And have a fam type of dinner
Yeah,
after
like-
the ride.
I'm thinking 3 courses, and then we'll do a pie. Hopefully we can
3 courses of pie.
No, and then a pie flight. So 3 mini slices of pie to showcase like one
Different styles.
different styles of her pies. And then I'm probably, and I say probably, I am going to make a homemade ice cream to go with the pie as well.
What would a day be like to ride from here to there and back? Is that 150 miles estimated?
How long is it to Valley View from
Here?
Yeah.
35 miles.
So throw another 15 on top of that.
Oh, shit.
52 there. Do the 65-mile ride. And
No, I'm thinking I'm outside of that event too, just doing a long day up there,
Yeah.
having a pie and coming back.
It doesn't quite work that way, but I bet Betty Joe would accommodate. So most of the times the pies she sells are take and bake.
Got it.
No, she sells.
Usually,
Made
but
pies.
she does. But you have to arrange that ahead of time.
Yeah, but you could call ahead and be like, hey, I'm going to be here on.
Slipper 20
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Oh, it's more than that.
yeah.
No, for the baking.
Oh, okay.
On top of it.
Legitimately, and not just saying this because she's awesome and because we're being recorded and everything else, legitimately the best apple pie I've ever had in my life.
That's a
That's not
big
hyperbole.
statement.
Complete agreement. Because when I'm introducing Brad to her, and his tongue's falling out looking at the place, and just all, and she's got an apple pie out on the table waiting for us, and I think we were both in the same boat. Neither one of us was particularly excited about an apple pie, because how many apple pies have you had in the course of your life?
Yeah, but
And they all
How
up
many-
to this point have been borderline.
that's the
disappointing.
difference, is because it's real easy to make a mediocre apple pie. It's not hard at all.
This is by far the best apple pie I've ever had in my
Yeah,
life.
that's not hyperbolic at all. It's
Wow. I'm
it's
interested.
it's a clean first place. There's not even
The thing is,
it's like an Austin Whittington win.
this is a breakaway win.
Yeah.
All right.
And she gave us, what'd she call them? Cutie pies. So she has individual pies.
Mini pies.
That white chocolate walnut was
That's my favorite.
Chocolate walnut.
so
Okay, so
good.
that doesn't sound like someone that just picked up pie making.
She's been making pies for,
Is she trained? Like she go to culinary?
She's mother trained.
her mother.
Experience.
So if I recall the story correctly, her mother used to make pies, and she was like, and then when her mother got aged, she said, I want to learn from you,
Yeah.
and before it's all lost. And then she was just making pies and hanging out, and then her friends started pushing her like, you need to make these for sale. And they had like farmers markets or whatever and stuff. And so she just started an operation out of her house where she has an adjacent house that they took over that used to be their neighbors. And it's the coolest little quaint 100-year-old house that's had numerous adjustments and stuff done to it. And that's where she bases her pie operation out of. But she makes a list of pies, including savory pies. Like she does a chicken pot pie, which I would love to try
Hatch
as well.
chili.
Oh, a hatch chili pie.
Do a tomato pie?
But she does a
She's got breakfast pies.
German chocolate pie.
I meant to. What was your thoughts on that
I
one?
honestly didn't taste it.
You didn't taste it?
No, I
But she
know.
just kept bringing.
How
you
did
guys
you not taste it?
No? I don't know.
He's not.
Because I still don't know what the filling was.
It's still in my refrigerator. I'll taste it.
Oh, okay.
No.
I thought like your son ate it all or
No,
something.
no, no. But the pecan pie and the white chocolate and the apple pie, I know it's going to be amazing. I just haven't got around to it. And it's in my garage refrigerator, so it's not top of mind.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Don't take this the wrong way. What was the rolled up chocolate thing you did for our Valentine's dinner?
Budino?
Very similar flavor to
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Very similar, almost a similar texture, but softer.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure what it is.
It's like a pudding filling, probably chocolate pudding. But she said German chocolate. She goes, no, it's actual German chocolate.
I want you to break that down. For me. I'm not, and I think if I remember, and maybe it was the way it cooked. Towards the front of the pie, it was a little softer towards the back, or maybe there was a little like cake mixed in, or so. I don't know. It was different.
But Kevin literally had to break us up because we had to go.
It was a half an hour of we got
Because I could have sat there and chatted with her for hours.
Sure.
There was so many parallels from her and me and how we think about how we make stuff, and then the way she cultivates ideas, and then we discussed her experience during COVID and how that kind of elevated her business overall.
Sure.
Because she was able to still, she said she never slowed down. She
She
would,
picked up.
yeah, because she would get an order for pies and she would set them out front and they would come by and pick them up and leave money. But just the sweetest, cutest lady in the world, just so awesome. And foolishly, I knew we were going to meet her. I knew she's the pie lady, but I didn't even anticipate that we were going to be eating pie for whatever dumb reason. And so here we are, we walk the whole place, and then we sit down and she cuts us a piece of pie, and it was magical. Not to be silly, but it was so flippin' good.
What's the name of the place?
Sweet Mother of Pies. But the Pie House, the Pie Lady is what she goes by. And if I remember correctly, basically her pie development story is the crust is her mom's recipe.
Yeah.
But all the pie fillings is stuff she's put together herself on a trial by trial basis.
Except for the apple pie. So she told us the origin of the apple pie. She had a Granny Smith apple.
Oh, that's right.
On her property. And I think this is how everything kicked off, if I recall. But she had a bumper crop one year, and so she ended up with 400 pounds of Granny Smith apples. And so she called her mom and said, what do I do with all these apples? And that's when she started making apple pie.
Yeah, because I've read that with apple pie, you want a good apple pie, you want the firm, tart apple variety.
Yeah. And I meant to ask her if those were Granny Smith apples in that apple pie, and if she had tried other apples, like a Honey Crisp or a Cosmic Crisp or something, because there's so many freaking apple variety. And then I also meant to ask her if she still has that Granny Smith apple tree and she's still pulling apples off of it to make her pies.
So that was us on our way out.
Yeah.
And that's a very genuine picture. That's how we all felt at the moment.
It's great. Sweet
And
Mother pies.
she's got a huge grain silo that she had delivered and is in the process of getting it electrified and built out on the inside. And it's going to be her pie shop, like where she's going to actually make pies and teach classes and stuff. Yeah. And that's going to be super cool. We got to see it. It's still in the construction phase, and they've just now pulled electricity to it, but no connection have been made or anything. But she said by April 25th, it's going to be up and running.
So what we're going to do is originally we were thinking about trying to figure out some sort of overnight thing, which I'd still like to do somewhere down the road, but that's just too many moving pieces. So we're going to do a day ride thing. We're going to have a 100K option, 63 miles, a 38-mile option, but the 38-miler is going to start later in the day with the idea of everybody kind of getting back to the pie place at the same time. So Brad can start serving his courses to everybody up in about the same time frame. But we're also going to do a Gravel 101 clinic with a short 22-mile ride. Yeah. So the first-time gravel riders get there at the same time as the long route riders are going out, and we'll do a clinic.
When are you doing this?
April 25th, and so we'll have the roundtable clinic with the newer gravel riders, and then they'll go out at the same time. The 38-milers go out on their shorter course at a slower pace, and that way everybody's back about the same. Now, when you said 3 courses, does that include the grazing board as a course? So
No.
grazing board and salad, or hadn't thought about it?
Definitely going to do some sort of a salad, whether it's a composed or like a tossed, I don't know. And then we'll do like a heavy appetizer of some sort, and then do a main course. And then we'll do the pot
And
fly.
then we'll do the
Pot fly with homemade ice cream.
I would love to volunteer for the beginners clinic, but that's the weekend we're moving out of the house.
That's fine. I get it.
Unfortunately,
I get it.
not be a good time, but
Yeah.
still be more to come.
There will be. This is us.
Love what you guys are doing with bike and food, though.
Hey, listen.
Me too.
This is the right thing.
It's just
Feels good.
It does. And when you find somebody like Betty Joe's 1 in a million sort of thing.
Man.
But if we can find other relationships like that along the USA Trail, and just once a year we pop in and visit this place.
Can't speak for everybody because we're all different, but I'm typically, especially after riding 100 miles, I like to get in my truck and go home. I'm not in the mood to hang out, I'm stiff, sore, and whatever else. But I sat down and ate with 4. I knew well, but I sat down with 4 guys I'd never met before in my life, and we sat there and shoot shit for 30, 40 minutes. Yeah. And I don't typically do that, but the food is a level setter for your attitude. You come in, you know you're going to get fed, and you're a completely different person.
And the reality is, when Spinistry kicked off, that's how we did do things, and then we outgrew that capability to do it with our limited bandwidth.
Yeah.
And even because we used to lean on our kids helping out too, and things like that. And we're in flight path today.
We are. It's because of the wind.
Over the years, I've reached out to different caterers, food trucks, and it's always ended up just being a clusterfuck.
You almost have to start and stop the ride where the food truck sits permanently.
Sometimes that doesn't even work. And I've been playing with it in my head for years on how to incorporate Brad into this stuff. And we're not there yet. We're fine tuning it this year. I think by next year we'll have a system down that makes sense.
I hope in these good weather months, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, we have a multi-day bike pack event that may include kind of like what we did in Terlingwood, but you don't have to drive so far to go do it.
Or like the 4R thing.
Or the 4R thing.
That was very cool.
Well, I mean, we've got the distance. There'll be a 50-mile stopover spot, a 150-mile stopover spot. If you don't want to pedal through for 300 miles, overnight at the 150-mile spot, I guarantee you there will be food and drink there.
Yeah.
Where are you talking? What are you talking about? What event are you talking about?
The distance.
When is that?
May 2nd?
I thought we didn't have an event in May.
No, it's not going to be. No, because you're supposed to ride this one. But if you're not riding it, you can hang out and be the social director if you want to.
I thought my May was open. Something I know I see the 300 miler.
That's it. That's the distance.
There's something that I had that popped up. Oh, it's a potential on May 2nd to make money.
Okay.
We need to talk more. We'll talk about that on the Ryan Callion.
So that's just I'm not charging for that, so I can't. But
That's
May
fair.
25th, we're supposed to be doing gravel free for all. Do you have that one on your
I
calendar?
do not.
You need to put that back on your calendar.
May 25th. That's a Monday.
I'm sorry. Maybe it's May 30th, maybe.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me look at my calendar.
Yeah, because I need to figure out when my dinners are going to be. May 9th is already locked in.
May 9th is your booze dinner, right?
Yeah.
But that's not open yet, right?
Nope.
Okay.
April 18th is open, and I have 8 more spots available, plus the 2.
Yeah. I'm sorry. May 30th,
Okay.
gravel free for all. It's the same day as Unbound, but
Gravel.
and it's in Itasca.
I know where that is. All day. Buy teas.
All right.
Done.
Excellent.
What else do we need to talk about? We talked about burritos. We talked about pies.
I was hoping to talk about bicycles today, but I think we might have time to talk about Caleb's bike if he makes it back here.
I still want to talk about this Flyway. Is it Flyway or Fly Away?
I think it's Flyway. Caleb, could you grab the shiny one and bring it this way?
Is this the
way?
That was not me that knocked the camera, for the record.
That was me.
What a sexy bitch.
Yeah,
and the bike looks good
And
too.
these are the new Terraville tires.
That looked extremely intriguing.
Yeah.
Right. So you guys walk us through it. You guys are the component nerds.
Let's start here. This is electronic shifting, UDH. This is the Rival Explorer. This is the first time I've actually paid attention and seen it. But so this is 13 speed, fully electronic. It's got the flat top chain. This is a sexy looking drivetrain.
42.
Yep, 42. And I'm guessing this is 46 down to 10, maybe? That's a good looking bike.
1046.
Collarbone fiber, built-in chain protector. It's pretty sexy rear end. I see it's got front derailleur compatibility.
Yeah.
Which I guess some people are still doing that, but if you're gonna, obviously it's meant to entertain multiple drivetrains, because I guess if you're not gonna have 13 speeds, maybe you're gonna run a 2x. But the way the bottom bracket,
I believe that they have an OEM version that's a 2x GRX 820 with a 2x up front. So it's probably, matter of fact, I think the orange colorway.
and how about these tires?
Dropper. Where's your dropper switch? Oh, here it is. Yeah, these tires are interesting.
What tires are they again?
So these are the new Terravale updrafts in the 50s.
700 by 50.
So how much clearance do you do?
Pretty good clearance, especially at the seat stays. You got plenty, and at the chain stays, looks like you could get away with 55.
This is the Warbird replacement, and I have a Warbird, and right now on my Warbird is
Right now, there's nothing on your Warbird.
and I'm converting it to Di2, but I have the Torino 50s, and I don't have.
This is a slightly more clearance than what I have. Now that could be, you got wide rims. So I want to say that the Flyway has just a little more clearance than the Warbird. Not much, but it does for sure.
And this particular one, we haven't mentioned it, but this one does have a suspension fork.
It does.
What'd you say, 40 mils?
40 mils, and with the suspension fork and these heavy pedals and the water bottle cage and bottle, this came out at 24 pounds.
It's got manual lockout, which is cool.
Yes.
Locking it out.
And it's got internal routing for, I guess, only the rear brake.
Only brakes?
Huh?
Only brakes?
On the rear brake. Oh, and the dropper.
And the dropper.
So,
the dropper.
that's a good looking rig.
I was not aware that Terravale made handlebars.
Bell is QBP, they absorbed whiskey. So whiskey used to
These are
be
the old whiskey bars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was not aware.
So whiskey either went out of business or just basically got rebranded.
Whiskey.
They got folded underneath.
I think they had some failure issues that they had to not be around anymore.
Yeah. That's a good looking rig though.
But for those, and just
Or
like
I'm
mad
talking
props to Dusty Roads, this demo bike,
yeah.
and I think it's what they call their size medium large.
Yeah.
And it's almost perfect size for it. So this is somewhere between a 56 and
Well,
a
this is what
57.
Salsa. This is the other thing they did. Not only rebranding the Warbird into the Flyway, but they're changing their sizing pattern, their sizing system. No more numbered sizes. It's all t-shirt sizes, if you will. So this one's medium large, 5 to 8 to 6 foot.
Okay. Yeah. So probably a classic 56. Nico kept calling it a 57 and a half, but a 57 and a half or a 58 would usually be big on me. This is like almost perfect.
And look at all the mounting points. One,
Yes.
two,
It's
three,
a huge front
4,
triangle
5,
on this
6,
thing.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 bosses on the inside of the triangle. And I couldn't really figure out I don't think you could run a cage this far
No,
down.
I think that's for cable access.
Oh, probably is.
Is my guess.
You're probably right.
And my guess is the rigid one will have bosses on the front on the fork as well.
Yeah.
So if you were to run 2 bottles, you would move this up one set.
Yep. And then, or you can run a triple here. So you could run like an anything cage if you wanted. And then you have the capability of running a triple, but I think the majority of these probably line up with the bag, a bolt-in bag system.
Yep. And they got rid of the molded badge, the painted
This
badge now.
strikes me as a me love you long time bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is a C.
And they got this new FSA. What spacers? But that's to be considered integrated. What do you call
It's an integrated headset, but
it's plastic.
yeah, but those are just the spacers to accommodate all the internal routing.
The internal routing.
Yeah.
So I'm taking this for a spin today. This will be my next adventures in underbiking video.
Very
But
cool.
this one, I don't think this one's between the suspension and the big tires. There's really no underbiking involved with this outside of the drop bar aspect when I'm on the track.
Well, this is what I would
This
consider.
is a gravel friendly tire.
Yeah.
Not a
It is.
underbiking.
I think there's enough lug there
Yeah.
to be.
Oh, you would be fine at North Shore or
I'm going to Gateway.
Gateway. Yeah.
I think it's a sexy bike. I'm interested in those tires. Those tires look
So-
fast and
so-
comfortable.
We were talking about it last week. So what they call their deluxe Racer Boy one, that was like 12 grand, right? Or
Yeah.
13?
Yeah.
12.9, I think. Or
Yeah, I
something.
still had it pulled up on the computer. But it's got NV wheels that are deep discs.
And it has their deluxe frame as well, which is the super light, super thin,
yeah.
So it's a different material.
different layup.
Yeah. But this is, you said 24 pounds
This is 24 pounds with the pedals and the suspension fork
and a dropper.
and the dropper. And this is a $5,500 bike.
Yeah.
And that's, for all of this, that's not
pretty good.
ridiculous.
Yeah. That's a great looking rig.
But let's talk the sexy bike here today. Let's talk the sexy bike here today.
I got about 15 minutes.
That's why.
Yeah.
Now we're wrapping up with the bikes.
You know what the weight is? It's less. Can we see it from here?
Pop it up there. So do it like that so the camera can see it.
All right.
Seriously, QVP should love us. They really
Camera.
should.
Hey,
We'll start talking. It'll get
Okay.
there.
so I initially had pre-ordered. Let's see it, Carol, see it. I pre-ordered the Flyway as well in August, I think.
Oh, I didn't know that.
August or September. Yeah, Dave had showed me some photos of it. And so I pre-ordered it, and then Salsa had a huge discount over like the Black Friday, I think they call it Black Friday month, basically. And they heavily discounted the Stormchaser because it's going away. And so I canceled my pre-order of the Flyway. And
Wait, what do you mean it's going
It's
away?
not going away.
I was told it was going away.
No,
This is the brand new
that's,
model.
that's the new model.
Just telling you what I was told. Maybe I'm wrong, but I
Actually, yeah, they're leaning into the Stormchaser more than before.
got it
That was-
from a reliable
okay.
Okay.
reliable source.
Hey,
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I wonder-
QVP.
I hope I'm-
Shiftlesslive@gmail.com. Fill us in because I've been a fan of the Stormchaser since it was first. unveiled.
huge clearance. These are
That's new dropouts and everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are 50s.
with plenty of clearance. Matter of fact,
Depending on your gear.
you can put 2.1s on this bike.
Yeah.
See it.
Okay.
Gotta see how much room you had in here with your bladder.
Bags by
I'm
dispersed.
about to say those bags
no,
are
no
sexy.
zipper. That's an option. It's an add-on to get.
Yeah.
But with
So this is just for your bladder. You don't put anything else in there.
if I don't have the bladder in there, I do.
Yeah.
But I did carry a little extra food
I
in
like
it.
this bag.
Look how wide it is. So dispersed. This is dispersed bags.
Get out of?
Utah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I think
are
it's
those
Utah.
custom bags or are those off-the-shelf bags?
So this is what's cool.
Inside pockets.
He does have the only thing that I wished he did is he doesn't have a padding inside. And see the mounting? I had to put spacers in there.
Yeah.
There's no padding for your.
That
for your
happens a
feet.
lot. That happens a lot.
Yeah. So you know how Rebel 8 will have that little flap that's built in. That would kind of be something useful here for that. But
Yeah.
the top two bag is a standard pattern. I had him reduce the height, so I had plenty of clearance for my water bottles.
Yeah.
And then the cool thing is this bag was not even. I sketched this. I think, matter of
Yeah.
fact, I sent y'all, I think, the sketch that I
Yeah.
sent him. It said, "Can you make this for me?" And he has a. If you go to his website on dispersed bags, he has. You got to communicate with him, but the way he does it is, he'll tell you the cost of how much the bag will be, and you go to his custom bag, and you just type in the quantity per dollar. So it's $1 because he doesn't have a set pricing for his custom bags. He came back and go, okay, it's $150 for this bag.
Okay.
Go and type in your quantity of 150, add that to your cart, and that's how I paid for a custom bag. So it's a
Okay.
unique way of doing it.
Okay.
So I sent him this sketch for this bag, and he absolutely nailed it. It's a really cool bag.
I want that burrito bag.
And
That's
he
what I
has
want.
these neat little tie downs. He uses the, I don't know what this little end cap.
We need to get it in shiftless colors and make it a shiftless.
He has a lot of color. He has all those X-Pac colors and Cordura colors. You could definitely do your Rasta colorway for sure.
That is sexy.
So Shimano wheels, that's the story behind the nicely colored conversion kit here.
Shimano's gravel wheels are micro spline. So the only single speed conversion kit on the market right now is wheels MFG.
Yeah.
So downside, you have to pay a little more for the conversion kit, but you get a sweet color choices, lots of color choices.
Right. That's worth the price of admission, then.
It is. Yeah, so it's 38 or 20.
So is this
38, 18.
Is this a smoke gray, or is this supposed to be black, or what is the color under all that
I
dust?
think they call it metallic black is what they. So they have two models on the website. They have a darker version with no logo, which is cool, no Salsa logo, and they have this one which is a really dark, smoky black gray metallic. So I thought that would look really good, purple with purple accents. XTR pedals or XTR cranks and chainring.
GRX pedals, right? Oh, XTR.
XTR pedals, yeah.
What's the difference between an XTR pedal and GRX pedal?
There is a GRX pedal. I don't think they have a GRX pedal.
I saw some in your box.
Those are the ones that were printed with United in Gravel shapes. That's an XT pedal.
But it says GRX on it.
It's an XT pedal body, and they just printed GRX on it.
Okay.
But that was kind of a one-off.
Yeah.
That they did for Unbound.
Okay.
Pro Bike stem, Pro Bike saddle.
That's a seat post.
I'm sorry, seat post. I was a little skeptic about such a tiny saddle because it is small. Love it.
Okay.
I've had.
Who was that?
This is Pro Bike.
I don't even know them.
That's Shimano's component company.
Okay.
They don't advertise a lot in the U.S. They don't have a huge.
And is that a Pro Bike stem as well?
Yep.
Okay.
But salsa bars, Durace brakes, shifters, but unnecessary.
And anything after a couple big rides on it that you want to change up or do differently?
No, maybe on more rough terrain, I would put maybe a little more aggressive tires, possibly. But I have not made any updates to this whatsoever. And Kevin said you were a little concerned about it being aluminum. No, that's fine. Let's talk about it.
I wasn't concerned. I just said it would be whipping cool if they made a carbon version of it.
Yeah, that's a Warbird.
Yeah.
Warbird doesn't have quite as much clearance as this, but yes.
Yeah.
It's aluminum fiber.
You can't run the Warbird single speed. It doesn't have.
You're right. You're correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just saying from a geometry standpoint,
Yeah.
it's pretty close to
Yeah, fair.
Bird. No, Kevin, we're not going to change anything, I don't think. You can tell it's aluminum on really chunky, really hard downhills, but it's not, oh my God, I'm rattling my teeth out.
Yeah.
You can clearly tell the difference. But on 100 miles this last weekend, it's not an issue.
You double wrap and tape?
Yeah.
Is it tape underneath
Tape
it?
under tape.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's not just a padding thing. I just like
The bigger.
something bigger to hold on to.
Girthier.
I like a little girth.
Yeah.
I don't have gigantic hands, but I don't have small hands either.
Yeah, because like when I grabbed his bars, I was like, ooh. But then I was like, I'm just spoiled, you know?
That's probably one of the first things that starts bothering me on long rides is vibration on my hands and stuff.
Yeah.
But it took me a little while to find the right positioning for the horns, because this is I would say this might even be a little more racier geometry than the Warbird. So it's a position I'm not used to being in, especially coming from riding a cutthroat a lot.
Are those aluminum bars or carbon?
These are aluminium bars.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm having a blast on this thing.
It's a well-equipped machine.
What determines when you take this out versus the Cuddy or whatever else may be in the mix?
Right now, it's still the new bike smell, so I'm riding it pretty much all the time. When we did the Ramble last weekend, I knew I needed gears, so I did our Sunday Ramble. I pulled my cutthroat out. That's the first time I'd ridden a geared bike since Christmas-ish,
Okay.
when I finally got this thing built.
Very cool. I love it, man. I'm jelly. What size is this one?
This is before they changed over to the t-shirt sizing, but this would be a 56.
That is a 50.
Yeah, which is what I have for the cutthroat and the Warbird is a 56. I was very tempted to take this to Sea Otter, but I was advised my experience would be a lot more enjoyable on a geared bike. So I'm going to take mine. That's why I'm converting.
And when is Sea Otter again?
I think it's in 2 weeks.
318.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And do you have any super secret parts going on the Warbird?
I'm converting it from a GRX 820 2x to a DI2.
Okay.
1x12.
Okay. What a good looking rig.
It really is. I'm jelly.
Also, just you don't have to custom build a Stormchaser, even though they do sell the frames. It's a pretty
I don't think there is a more reasonably priced adventure bike on the market than an aluminum Stormchaser. Whether you do, they've got 2 single speed builds and 2 geared builds, I believe, on top of the frame set only, and tons of clearance.
All right. I think we've overstuffed this episode, and Brad's got to be somewhere.
It's a full one.
Bradford, send us off.
Man, it's a beautiful day. Pick one. Go ride your bike.
Will do.